Well, good morning to you. This is Professor R.V. Argiddi from WIT Sholapur. Today I will be focusing on the topic measures of central tendency, in which we have mean, mode, and median. These are the measures we require in the statistics, and that statistics is used in a data science. In the previous videos, I have introduced the concept of probability and how that probability provides a theoretical framework and how it is helpful for performing statistical analysis of data. Now, statistics actually deals with analysis of experimental observations. So, in this video, I will try to introduce you a few measures, statistical measures rather, and how they are used while doing the analysis. Before that, okay, at the end of this session, what is the learning outcome? The student will be able to comprehend measures of central tendency. Now, before moving to actual measures of central tendency, we will see what is sampling in statistics. When we have already talked about the probability density functions, that is PDF. Okay, typically when we are actually doing analysis, we do not know the entire sample space. Okay, we may also not know all the parameters of the distribution from which the samples are being withdrawn. Typically, we are actually obtain only a few samples of the total number of available population. So, from this finite sample, we have to derive conclusions, or we have to draw some inference about the probability density function of the entire population, and also make inference about the parameters of these distributions while by using that sample data. So, the sample or observations set is supposed to be sufficiently representative of the entire sample space. Let us take one example. Suppose we want to actually find out the average height of people in the world. We cannot go and sample just people, or take the heights of say from the Canada or the Canadian people alone, because they are known to be much taller as compared to the other part of the world, that is Japanese or Indians. So when we take a sample, we should take examples from, let us say, Canada, from Europe, from Asia, and so on, so that we get the representative of entire population of this world. So this is called proper sampling procedures, and these are dealt with the design of experiments, and we will assume that we have obtained a sample. Now we have done bit carefully and obtained the representative sample of whatever populations we are trying to analyze. Okay, now let us see what are the basic concepts. Okay, now with the basic definition of population is a set of all possible outcomes of the random expire experiment. We have already defined this as a sample space, and what we are going to obtain is just a few examples or samples, and these are called the sample set. It's an infinite set of observations obtained through whatever experiments that we are going to conduct. Now from this sample set, we want to make inference, which are conclusions that we derive regarding the population itself, which we are not known, it's either the probability density function of the population or the parameters of the population. Now we have to note that when we actually lose such inferences, our inference is also stochastic or uncertain because the sample that we have drawn are also uncertain. So they are not representative of the entire population. So we should expect that our inferences are also uncertain, and therefore we are, or we provide the answers what we actually provide all also the confidence interval associated with these estimates that we have deriving. So that is one of the reasons that we actually studied probability density functions, because then we can characterize all the estimates that we have obtained from the sample in terms of this confidence interval and on or the probability that we will obtain this value. Let us find out the types of statistics. There are two types of analysis. One is descriptive and the other one is inferential. In a descriptive, okay, we can divide the statistical analysis into two parts: the graphical part or graphical analysis, where we use plots and graphs in order to have a visual fields of the entire data. The other way of doing is to actually do quantitative computations or numerical computations, where we try to summarize the entire sample sent by few parameters. Examples, we will talk about mean and variance and so on. Notice that we have taken hundreds of data points or the samples for as an experiment. We cannot go and tell somebody all the 100 values. We cannot reel off all these values that will not be possible for somebody to digest. Summary: the statistic that we do numerical allows us to get a feel for the entire data that we have obtained without knowing the individual observations, and that is why these are very useful, and they are also called summary statistics. Now, inferential statistics deals with two kinds of problem estimation, where we try to estimate the parameters of the probability density function and about parameters such as the expected value or the first moment and the second moment and so on. The different distributions are different number of parameters, and how do we estimate these parameters from a small sample that we obtain, and how do we give a confidence region for these estimates, that is called estimation, and the other kind of decision making that we want to do. We want to judge whether particular value is 0 or not. The parameters of the decision or the distribution and such a decision making that we do from a sample is called a hypothesis testing. Now let us move. Measures of central tendency. Okay, here we'll see what is the mean. Okay, so it represents the mean we have already studied in the school, that what is by mean. Okay, it is nothing but the mean of samples is defined as a summation of all the data points that we obtain divided by the number of data points that we have. So that it is also denoted by the symbol x bar, and it is also called the mean or the average of the sample. This particular thing, we said it can be viewed as a central point of the entire sample that we obtain or that we have got. Now we can show that the estimate that we obtain of the sample sample, the average is the best estimate in some sense. Later on, we'll set up what is called the least squares methods of estimating parameters, and if you set up parameters criterion for estimating parameters, we'll find the x bar is the best estimate that we can get from the given sample of the data, or we can also show some properties of the data. For example, suppose here what we the formula is 1 upon n, it is summation of xi where I is equal to 1 to n. Okay, now it may be affected by outliers and the sample heights of now let us consider the sample heights of 10 mango trees. The height of the mango trees are given in the curly brackets. Okay, they are 10 values. Okay, the mean of this particular 10 value is 62.4, and if by mistakenly if I add if I add 50 in the value of 55, so it becomes a 105, and 105 including 55, 59, 60 and till 67. Okay, so if I get the mean value at that time, I will get 67.4. So with this mistake, I'm going the mean will be changed. So it should not change that mean value. It should not change the mean value. Actually, it should. Now let us take. Now think and write this particular. Take this example. Okay, compute the mean for the following set of data. Okay, the data set is 5, 10, 15, 25. Okay, 5 values are there. What is the? Take a pause and write the answer. The answer is, if I add all these values 5 plus 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 25, that is equal to 75 divided by 5, that comes out to be 15. So these are the references. I hope you understood the concepts, and thank you very much.